So going into this movie, it has some funny connotations and context for me, and I'll explain it throughout the review, but I just gotta start with that, with just the level of almost meta for me in this film. Alright guys, gals, and everything in between, I'm here today to review for you Final Destination, Bloodlines. So it's been 14 years since the last Final Destination film came out, and that was right around close to the beginning of my YouTube movie reviewing career, come to think of it. And I didn't review it, but I watched it, didn't really care for it. The series kind of just died for a while. And then I didn't even watch a trailer for this film. I just saw a poster and someone said, "Oh, the new Final Destination movie came out." I went, "Oh, well, might as well review it." So I went to the theater last night, saw the film with Mrs. ScottsThoughts, aka Peanut, and we were enthralled from beginning to end. This movie is extremely entertaining. Is it scary? No. But it's just a really fun thrill ride from beginning to end, if that makes sense. So it's not really like a horror movie, but I'd call it like a thriller action film that does play into some people's phobias, which is really, really fun. So for those of you who don't know, Mrs. ScottsThoughts, aka Peanut, I proposed to her at the top of the Space Needle in Seattle. This film doesn't call it the Space Needle, but the entire film starts at a place called Skyview Tower. It's the Space Needle. It even looks exactly like the old school retro Space Needle on the inside. And she's been a best friend. She was Moriarty in my Holmes University series. She's basically my sister, Samantha, and her husband, Mike, also one of my close buddies. They took the pictures of me proposing in real time for her. He has an epic and chronic fear of heights, and if you don't know, the Space Needle has like an observation deck with glass that you can look down on and walk around, because there's like a little restaurant in there, just like the film. And he would sit there and be like, nope, the glass is going to crack and fall through, which I found out later is in the trailer. So a woman cheats death because she has a premonition at the top of the Skyview Tower in like the 1960s during the World's Fair time. And she goes into hiding because it turns out death pursues everyone who should have died that day and their lineage, which I think is an interesting concept to the Final Destination film series, because you always just have those main characters who cheat death. This one follows their ancestry, people who should not have lived on that day. So I thought that was really interesting, and then the rest of the movie takes place in modern day. But it's very clear it's the Space Needle, which was a funny little coincidence. And there, without spoiling, there's so many things in this that somehow related to me or Mrs. ScottsThoughts' lives and encounters, even in recent years, that were like, did they make this movie thinking about us? As for the main characters, do you like them? I didn't really care for the main characters personally. I thought they were a little one-note and boring. There's the "I hate everything you're gonna say" guy. There's the "I'm a crazy mom." It is very, very clear they made this kind of like Halloween 2016. The one with Jamie Lee Curtis being like Sarah Connor. They very much made this feel legacy sequel-esque. It's not a legacy sequel, but they treat it as such, if that makes sense. Film-wise, I would say, honestly, it was shot very well. There are one or two visual effects scenes, though. You can see that the budget went to the Space Needle portion of the film, which was excellent, by the way. That was stunning. Then there were some that they clearly just were like, oh, we're out of money. Make it good enough. That'll do. We don't care. There's so much of that where some of the visual effects there look awful, and it's almost like Sci-Fi Channel original movie-ish. But again, you're watching a Final Destination movie. Are you really paying that much attention to it? Personally, it didn't bother me. The characters, some of them were a little annoying, but watching them die was morbidly amusing because they all die in horrible fashion when they go. It's a Final Destination film. I absolutely loved every minute of that. And of course, it definitely used IMAX very well, mostly around the Space Needle sequence. You get the pattern, they blew their wad on the Space Needle. The story itself, you know exactly what's going to happen. They do provide some interesting, I guess, additions to the lore of the Final Destination world, and seeing Tony Todd, I believe his name is. I'm horrible with his name. I always forget. He's in every Final Destination film. He passed away during the filming, basically, of this film, and it was really sad to see him go. His scene, knowing his last scene is improvised, makes it a little kind of like a memorial, and it really, really hit the heartstrings. So good on Final Destination Bloodlines. All in all, I enjoyed the crap out of this movie. Is it gonna be one that you watch all the time, or that it's like it's gonna change cinema forever? No, but if you go with a friend or a date and you have a good time, you're not gonna regret it. It's still a fun time. I would say that Final Destination Bloodlines is big screen worthy. Alright guys, gals, and everything in between. Are you a fan of the Final Destination films? Is this one gonna bring you into the fold? Don't forget to like and subscribe. I got plenty more videos coming to you. Love you guys.